back once again. You are tuned into the underground. My name is Mbaya and I go by the Doctor. If you clicked on this video, you already know what's going on, so I don't really have to say too much. But for those of you who haven't watched my part 1 and 2 of how I achieved this look, I'm not going to be demonstrating how I did the shaping of this afro or the taper, but go and watch part 1 and 2 and watch how we went through the process to achieve this look. And let's go ahead and get into this. So I'm not going to be showing you how I shaped up the afro or did the taper. I feel like this at this point has been more than very clear on how to go about this. You just have to pretty much have your client return a few more times, and the style of haircut when it comes to transitioning a style to a whole completely different look, you have to have them be patient, and you yourself have to be patient with how you go about the process of reshaping hair. So at this point, this was the third service. The haircut that we started off with was not that great, but it has been now pretty much set in, and it's definitely a solid foundation. This is a real deal fro, shaped up clean, and it's ready to go. So as you can see, of course, I'm just executing the lineup. I started in the middle using this beast of a machine that is called the Cyborg by Gamma Plus. Yo, if you don't have the Cyborg yet, you need to go ahead and just hit up Gamma Plus on the direct website. Of course, go to the search bar, type in Cyborg trimmer, throw that thing in the cart. Of course, apply J.Exquisite discount code, save some money. And if that doesn't work out, I guarantee you I have another link in the video description. Just go ahead and hit up that Amazon storefront. If Amazon works a lot better for you, look, do your thing, buy you that trimmer. All right, it's worth every penny. Not only is it worth every penny, this is like one of the number one, the top 5 trimmers of all time. So don't sleep on it. I don't think I've even used this trimmer on my mans not one time in any of the videos that I serviced them with part 1 or 2. This is the first time. And this lineup quality of course is different, but the reason for why I even bring this up is you have to know your tools. You have to understand what you're using. So what I'm getting at is, for example, tools that are zero gap versus tools that are just adjusted to the perfect setting. You have to be mindful of how you use them. So like, for example, this blade that comes on the Cyborg trimmer, this blade set is so sharp, it feels almost as if it's zero gap. But what I'm trying to say is certain tools like the Cyborg work the best, in my opinion, when the hair is prepped. So like, for example, if I would have showed you the footage of what he looked like when he walked in, it wasn't all that. But just because of the simple fact that I tapered it down, cleaned it up, and prepped it for the lineup, everything revealed itself, as in the last work that I did on him was, just pretty much right there. Easy for me to follow through with it. It's more like a touch-up at this point because it's a done deal. Certain trimmers, depending on what kind of blade it is and how they are adjusted, will determine how well the cut will be. So in this case, this cut is efficient because of the simple fact that the lineup, as well as the shape of the afro, the taper, all of that has been pretty much established because this is the haircut that will be getting done on him moving forward. So be mindful of your tools and how you use them, because I can use a different tool and it'll do great regardless. Believe me, it will. But at this point, this lineup with that Cyborg, beasts. That's why some people always say stuff like any trimmer will work good on straight hair. Any trimmer will work good on, curly hair or so-called good hair. You know, it's crazy when people say that. It's just about how well you understand your trimmer blade. Know your tools, understand your blade sets. No matter what, if it's the clippers, especially trimmers, learn them if you don't know what they are. Get to understand them, do some homework. So when it comes to Stylecraft and Gamma Plus, for example, they have done a great and amazing job. They have simplified it Apple style when it comes to working with their tools, using their tools. Everything's interchangeable, everything's compatible. What brand has that simplicity? Sure, there's contenders, but Gamma Plus and Stylecraft are crushing it, especially with everything that they're putting out recently. They got something that works well in all textures. If a brand got a trimmer or clipper that can work on coarse hair, you're good. It's sold out all day. It's nothing but beast mode. That's all they got. Nothing but monsters. That's all they got. You literally can be entry level and still be able to use their tools. You can be a whole master, a whole samurai. You could be a whole ninja, a whole Ronin out here, whatever the case. You know what I'm saying? You can still execute on point with their tools. I mean, just look at how well this machine is doing. Look at that line. Look at the precision. Consistent hit each time. And as you can see, I'm playing this in real time, so it's definitely giving you exactly what this thing's made out of. Mind you, I take my time. If you don't know at this point, I'm one of those barbers that takes my time. So with that being said, my quality turns out very, very well for natural haircuts. I know some people will probably clown my work, and the funny story, since I've gotten on that topic, is this client's father told me that he went to school, some of the kids clowned him a little bit, only to turn around and kind of start to really appreciate his new look. Ended up asking who his barber was. They found out who I was. They looked into it. They thought about booking. I'm sure they did, but they didn't for a reason, and I get why. It's probably just because of that price, that rate, which I'm very affordable. But I didn't get that from dad. It's just I'm saying that's what I'm assuming played out. But with that being said, he went from being the clown to the flyest in the school, only trendsetting the cut, wanting everybody to get their haircut on. It was short-lived because they got back to hating, to turning around and saying, you know what? Does he use enhancements? Because you know how I feel about enhancements. If you don't know how I feel about enhancements by now, I'm definitely not a real big fan of them, just because it's pointless in my opinion. Unless the client is requesting that, then go ahead and do what you do. Because the sorcery that we do, the magic that we make happen, is straight wizardry. With that being said, we are out here making crazy things happen in the chair for some people, you know? We're causing problems on top of that with some of this work that we're producing out of this barbershop chair, you know, like it's crazy. But all I'm saying is it went from respect to envy. And not only was it respect, it was clowning him before to appreciating it. Then it started to become envy because they want to look like him now. And the fact that they can't afford it now, they got to make him feel away just because they can't afford my service. It's just me assuming what I believe happened. But anyway, going too far with that one, but I'm gonna leave that one alone. Look, this is the reason why I call haircuts subscriptions. This is a subscription. He stay consistent in the chair, returning as he should. Not only has he should, he has taken care of his hair. It's clean, it's fresh every time he comes in for a haircut, except for the last time he did have product in his hair, so we had a shampoo. But all I'm saying is he has done his part, and everything about this haircut is looking very amazing. I'm appreciating how this thing has turned out. I'm sure you all see the quality, especially the fact that this day I had some of the most amazing light coming through my window opening. So I had to make sure that I captured this footage. I wasn't even going to record at first, to be honest. I just figured that I might as well capture the lineup process and show that to y'all. And yeah, this is pretty dope. And one thing about lighting is it can make you or break you when it comes to your content that you put out. This content creating thing is a very humbling thing. I'm not going to lie to y'all, because there's some work that I put out on here that I really don't appreciate, and I rethink it over and over in my head, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to post it. So I go ahead and just post what I got, whether it's bad lighting or great lighting. I try to make sure I bring out something for y'all to see. Hopefully y'all can learn from it and, use it for your benefit. You know what I'm saying? So the lineup is pretty much done, y'all. I had to bring out my Uno 2.0 real quick just to kind of do some foil work, some final details. As you can see on the nape area right there, no go, y'all. Everybody does not need to do any close work, closer than what the trimmer does. Or for example, if you have a Baldwin clipper, don't do that. But just a quick reminder for y'all that don't know or didn't watch, this is where he's coming from. This is the last footage I have of him as a waver before he gave up on his waves. As you can see, they're not that great looking. They're still there, but they're not that great looking. They're better. They've been better than what they look in this video, but he gave up on them and slowly started to grow it out and got a little sponge look up top, went from the sponge look, and here we are now. He took it down from what it was. It's interesting seeing the journey of what people do with their look. I love it. I appreciate what they allow me to do for them. Just going through the whole canvas of everything. I mean, he even did the high taper at one point. I'm glad he's not doing the high taper because he has a decent C cup, which the C cup, he has to flex that. I mean, look at how perfect his C cup is. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing the razor work now, and I'm all right with that razor, man. I appreciate my Puerto Rican brothers for putting me on with the razor. And I got to give a huge shout out to one of my Cuban brothers. My guy Juan might have been the first individual. If you're watching this, yo, I appreciate you for putting me on to the razor. He put me on to the razor, as he would say. My man's, he got that Cuban accent. He used to be racer. He would be like, racer. Use the razor, because he didn't believe that I never used the razor. As you can see, before I executed the razor work, the line looked good, right? I've always done well with my lineup, so people will believe that I used the razor regardless of me using it. They just assumed I did because of how close and how precise I was about my line. So when I added the razor to my arsenal, I've been a force to be reckoned with when it comes to that natural lineup. So I don't care what nobody says. You can't tell me no different. That lineup, I dominate with that. You know what I'm saying? That's where I started at. I don't even care about the blend. The blend doesn't matter to me. It's all about that line. So, hey, Juan, I appreciate you, man, if you're watching this. And shout out to my bro, the legendary Will. Will put me on to how to really use the razor and how to really execute the line on point. My homie Jay. You know what I'm saying? You know who you are, J.O. Yo. Shout out to you, man, for real. And as far as like crispy blends and just to make sure that everything's on point, my guy, Martin put me on, yo. And who else can I bring up when it comes to the finesse? Shoot, my guy, Alex. But when it comes to the details, it was my homie, Jay Razor. Yeah, y'all know, y'all already know, man. Y'all was GOAT in that joint, man. And I can't forget about my man, damn, what's his name? Keegan. Keegan was dope. He was killing it for sure. He had a mean, ill cut on him, though. You know what I'm saying? Definitely some monsters that I work with. And I'm only bringing those people up particularly because they helped me get to where I am now. Those 7 individuals, actually. Those Juan, you got Will, you got J.O., you got Martin, Jay Razor, Alex, and you got the homie. But K, he wasn't really in the shop that much, but I watched him. You know what I'm saying? There was some other individuals in the shop that I watched them, but I had to watch those particular ones that I just threw out there because they put me on to a lot. But I appreciate them. You know what I'm saying? So this is the reason why I don't knock any barber at the end of the day. I watch the worsts, to the best. You know, I'll sit down and check you out, see your style. You know, I'll ask you questions. I learn all the time. I'm a student at this. You know, I have no shame in my game. I haven't seen a lot of these individuals in a long time, except for one that I just mentioned, of course. And they have added a huge impact. Can't miss it. Their DNA is in my work. So everything that I do, they already know. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, I appreciate y'all for being in my journey. The contribution that they have added to this is everything. And I can't leave out, of course, some of the huge influences when it comes to this barber game that I have watched, as far as how they articulate, how they deliver the message. Because at the end of the day, all I try to do is give you me. I have done a tremendous amount of homework on trying to make sure that what I put out there for y'all is completely me, but there is inspiration. But that inspiration, watching too many people, kind of like, for example, everybody that I just named, and there's so many more that I can name when it comes to the influencer side of things, that it's crazy how much exposure you can have and how that can be a negative impact on your career. You gotta be careful how much you allow yourself to consume. So even though I can brag about everybody that's put me on, for example, Taylor Cuss is a huge influence for me. I don't know if y'all all know who that is, but if you don't, you better get familiar. There's so many other people that I can mention, but it's just amazing to me how much impact people can have on your life. And that's why I try to make sure that I don't have bad blood, bad vibes, putting out negative energy. If it's negative energy that you're receiving from me, you got the whole wrong picture about me. Because meet me in real life. Because if you don't get what you're seeing or what you're hearing on these videos in real life, hey, I'm sorry, but this is as good as it's gonna get. This is the best that you're gonna get. This is what it is. But I appreciate y'all watching. I'll catch y'all on the next one.